because we just joined Formula One. So I think that but it's always like this. Whenever your first season in Formula One, you're always going to struggle. It happened to every single team this way. Even Mercedes and Red Bull, when they first joined Formula One, they had difficulties. Um, but for teams like Audi, I mean, I don't know. I don't have huge expectations on them. Like kind of a mid-table team. Maybe seventh, eighth, ninth best team. But again, those are judgments early on. It's better to wait. But it's not a team where Audi you can look at it and think like, yeah, this is a team that is gonna fight for podiums every single weekend, fight for wins every single weekend. So yeah. You also said earlier, Mohammed, that this regulation um, it doesn't play a huge part in terms of the aerodynamic side. Having seen McLaren in the previous regulation where they were mostly successful and better than Mercedes, even in the same engine, because of aerodynamic side and they had better aerodynamic side than Mercedes. Do you think that might affect McLaren that side in this regulation, or do you think they could be good enough to adapt in other things?
No, no, I don't think so. Because especially if you look at their car or the car that they went to testing with, it looks very much simple. It doesn't look. It's simple. It looks from the outside. It looks simple. It has its details, of course, and people have said that, but it looks very simple, which I think simplicity. This ground this era of F1. I think aerodynamics are gonna be way more simpler. I think the more you try to be more the more you try to basically the more you try to play with it, the more you might do. But yeah, I don't think McLaren gonna lose out for because it's less aerodynamic. But I'm saying like what I meant by that was when I said less aerodynamics, I mean like the the packages that the teams are gonna bring are gonna be very much simple now, and I think the engine is gonna matter for the first season and maybe season and a half, maybe season and a half. But after that, when teams just start understand the car more and more and more, we're gonna see more crazy stuff on the cars and more crazy packages and aerodynamics, etc. But for the first season, it's gonna be very much engineered, especially knowing that the cars are 50-50 now and they're reaching 400 kilometers per hour, etc. So yeah, top speed of 380 and the battery running out. So yeah, and also Lando said this. He also said this. Something I forgot to add. He said those drivers who don't manage their their battery well, it's gonna have to defend very aggressively, which is gonna cause chaos, and there's gonna be a lot more overtaking because the battery is gonna run out, and those who have their fully charged, they're gonna easily pass, etc. So yeah, we'll see. We're 1 month away.
I Yeah, exactly. So I echo. That's actually true what you said about Orlando saying about the battery side because, um, sometimes when if you let's say if in different you look at the regulation different the previous one the ground effect where you can have battery problems but you can still manage it to some extent, whereas this regulation is very punishable. It's very like ruthless. If you don't have a good battery, then you're gonna get hugely exposed. So yeah. But what about Red Bull? Because listen, we all know still 1 month away and it's too early to say, but where do you think Red Bull could sit at? Do you think they're a team that could fight for race wins, or they're a team that is could fight for the championship, or what
Red
exactly?
Bull.
Yeah.
Uh, the Red Bull are gonna be strong as well in the start of the season. I think the pecking order is gonna be something somewhere around maybe like Red Bull and Ferrari and Red Bull and Mercedes and McLaren. No, no, no. I'm gonna admit it. McLaren don't look like the best right now from the aerodynamics wise and the car wise. But for sure, it's gonna be, at the start of the season, it's gonna be close between Red Bull, Mercedes, and maybe Ferrari. Uh,
You think Red Bull are going to be the best team?
what? I think Red Bull are gonna be the best team.
You think Red Bull?
No, 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 not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Not at all. Uh, I think I think it's gonna be Red Bull and McLaren are gonna be very close, and then it's gonna be Ferrari, Mercedes. That's how it's gonna be. Are also gonna be close together. But according to Lando, and I say this, even if you have the best car, even if you have the best car aerodynamically wise, if you run if you run out of battery in the middle of the straight, you and the other driver has a battery that's fully charged, you're getting overtaken. So even if you have the best car in the ever, you still there's a chance we see some very upsetting podiums this season. Williams might get that five podiums, four podiums, or six podiums, just because the drivers know how to manage the battery better, or they have a better battery strategy. But so yeah,
Yeah. Uh, I think like Red Bull, I don't think obviously with the new Ford engine, with obviously new driver lineup, not Max Verstappen, but obviously Isaac Hadjar. It's difficult to say, new Ford, new engine, etc. It's a kind of a new looking from Red Bull's side this season. However, having seen what people at Red Bull say and to some extent their pace, I don't think they're bad as we thought they're going to be in this regulation. Because if you asked me, let's say a year ago, or anybody else a year ago, a lot of people would say, "Oh, Red Bull going to be like mid-table or something," but they're actually not that far away. Listen, I'm not. We don't think they're going to be the best team, and Lauren Beck has said that they're going to have some struggles at the start of the season. Obviously, when they pass that towards the first half of the season part, then we could see the potential upgrades, and that there's then that's where we could see Red Bull at their best. Like last season they didn't have the good start, but for Monza and when they brought those upgrades, they were magnificent towards the end, and Max Verstappen won a lot of races. So I think this could be a similar thing for Red Bulls this season as well, even though new engine and new regulation side. But talking about Lewis Hamilton, which previously we said that this regulation he likes it very well. Do you think this could be this season where having known this regulation suits him really well, his driving style, and Ferrari they should be better than last season, even though we assume. Do you think this could be a redemption season for Lewis Hamilton where he could get back to winning races and etc.?
yeah, I would say yeah, yeah. Everything is up in the air. Again, as you said about Red Bull, I think Red Bull and McLaren are in the same 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 place right now, in which they brought simple cars because they're gonna bring a or not a mid season, like say the first three races, they're gonna bring an insane package in after the first three races, say like McLaren did in Miami in 2023, or 2024, I'm unsure. Where they
24, yeah.
where they brought a packet. They started the season very much third best, third best, and then they brought a package that just accelerated them to being a dominant car. So I think that's gonna happen again. I think the Red Bull and McLaren are not focusing on at the start of the season. Even the first two races of the season are not that. Like, I wouldn't say they're very much important important considering the season is now about 24 races. The first two races are like just nothing. Uh, so yeah, the first two races are not gonna define the season, and both of the tracks are like I'd say mid tracks, like not very important. You have China and Australia. They're not very much. I don't think they're the tracks where people where teams test cars, except test upgrades, etc. So yeah, I think you're onto something when you say that Red Bull might bring something and McLaren also might bring something. Do I think Ferrari and Mercedes are gonna bring something? No. First of all, I've heard Vesser say that some of their parts did not get approved by the FIA, or they're waiting approval. So they're still gonna bring more upgrades. Like they're gonna bring another basically V2 spec of the car in Bahrain, and then they're gonna bring and maybe add more upgrades to the other to the second Bahrain test. So that takes time. As I said, that takes time. So that means Ferrari are probably not gonna bring upgrades anytime in the first like 5 races of the season. Mercedes, I haven't heard anything regarding upgrades, so they might be doing the same thing as McLaren and Red Bull. But we'll see.
Yeah, I echo what you said. I think McLaren and Red Bull are teams, and to some extent that's understandable because they were the two teams that were fighting for the World Drivers' Championship that season. And when you fight for the world the title towards the end of the season before a new regulation change of a season, then it could have an effect to you to the short term side. But if you fix it on the long term side, then I think you should be fine. A bit like Red Bull last Red Bull 21, 22, where 21 they were fighting for the two titles. They won the Drivers' Championship, but then they had a difficult start of the season in 2022 with a couple of engine failures. But then they brought this incredible upgrade package, and they were amazing for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But back to the question I was asking about Lewis Hamilton. Do you think this could be a redemption season for him?
No.
No? Why?
No. If both Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton have equal cars, I don't think Lewis Hamilton is faster than Charles Leclerc. From being honest, maybe prime Lewis Hamilton, maybe okay, but Lewis Hamilton right now, I don't think he has that mentality to fight for the championship. As much as people wanna say, yeah, Lewis Hamilton is Lewis Hamilton. He's gonna be these new regulations are gonna make him are gonna bring out a new Lewis Hamilton, and he's gonna win his eighth championship. It's gonna no, it's not. It's gonna be hard, especially considering these are new cars and every single team is gonna be close. It's gonna be hard to Lewis Hamilton to fight for the championship. Lewis Hamilton, if I'm being honest, Lewis Hamilton has only had one time where, two times actually, where he was under pressure. In the 2008 McLaren Championship, no, 2007, I mean, when he won it in Brazil, and the 2021 championship with Verstappen. And and you could say Rosberg 2016, but he didn't really win it. So I think Lewis Hamilton, his experience with being under pressure, but at the same time, I feel like Lewis Hamilton collapses a little bit under pressure as well, considering 2021 and he lost two championships at the end of the last race in 2016 and 2021. This season is gonna be close. There's gonna be a lot of pressure, so could happen, but I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna win it.
Yeah, I understand what you think of Lewis Hamilton. Sometimes collapsing under pressure, but you can't say he collapses under pressure most of the times when he's won 7 world championships.
Yes, but most of them were easy. They had no fight. Like you can't tell me Bottas was fighting for the championship in 2017, 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
16. I don't know why I said 16. Or I
No, 16 was Rosberg.
was Rosberg. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Compare. You were talking previously about the compression ratio. Obviously, a month ago, I think, or 2 months ago, teams like Ferrari, Audi, and Honda, which is coming from Aston Martin, were complaining about Mercedes engine and Red Bull being illegal, let's say, with the compression ratio. Um, Toto Wolff, he responded to that claim, I think, a couple of days ago. He said that when it comes to the engine question, I just don't understand that some teams concentrate more on the others and keep arguing on a case on something that is very clear and transparent. Communication with the FIA was very positive all along, and it's not only on compression ratio, but also on other things. But specifically within that area, it's very clear what the regulations say. It's very clear what the, let's say, standard procedures are only on motors, on any motors, even outside of Formula One. So just get your shit together. I
Look,
mean, Toto is like, I'm not having anybody pulling me about this engine, Mercedes. I mean, what do you think of this drama that happened with Ferrari complaining, etc., and Toto Wolff's comment?
uh, first of all, I understand Toto Wolff. Why would he be mad? Because everything costs money, like R&D. He's paying this, and he was able to come up with this.